Today we are diving into something truly eye-opening. By the end of this discussion, you will not only understand why you speak the way you do, but you will also uncover hidden aspects of yourself that you may have never considered. And the final revelation? It is the most powerful of all. It might completely change the way you approach communication forever. Language is more than just a tool. It is a fingerprint of your mind, a signature of your experiences, and a reflection of your inner world. From the way we structure sentences to the words we instinctively choose, every aspect of our speech is shaped by something deeper: our psychology, our environment, and even our biology. Think back to a moment when you met someone who spoke in a way that immediately captivated you. Perhaps their voice was calm and soothing, or maybe their words carried an air of authority that commanded respect. Now, contrast that with someone whose speech felt scattered, hesitant, or uncertain. What made the difference? Was it simply the choice of words, or was there something more at play? The truth is, the way we speak is not random. It is influenced by countless factors: our upbringing, our social circles, our cultural background, and even the way our brains process information. Psychology has long studied the connection between language and identity. Sigmund Freud, for instance, believed that our speech patterns often reveal subconscious desires and internal conflicts. Meanwhile, modern research in linguistics has shown that our vocabulary and speaking style can indicate everything from our level of confidence to our emotional state. Consider this. Studies have found that people who frequently use filler words like and like may not necessarily be unsure of what they are saying. In some cases, these words serve as a cognitive tool, giving the speaker time to process information. However, excessive use of these fillers can also signal nervousness or a lack of certainty. On the other hand, individuals who speak with deliberate pauses and controlled pacing often come across as more confident and authoritative. But what about the words themselves? Our choice of words is perhaps one of the most revealing aspects of our speech. Research in the field of psycholinguistics has uncovered fascinating insights about how word usage can reflect personality traits. For example, people who use more personal pronouns like I and me tend to be more introspective and self-aware, whereas those who favor collective terms like we and us often display stronger social connections and empathy. There is also the question of formality versus informality. Think about how your speech changes depending on whom you are speaking to. When addressing a close friend, your tone is likely casual, filled with colloquialisms and slang. But when speaking to a superior, or in a professional setting, your language likely becomes more structured, precise, and refined. This shift is not accidental. It is an adaptive response, shaped by social conditioning and learned behavior. Now, here is something even more intriguing. The way you speak can influence not only how others perceive you, but also how you perceive yourself. The psychological concept known as linguistic relativity suggests that language shapes thought. In other words, the words you habitually use can actually reinforce certain thought patterns and beliefs. If you frequently describe yourself using negative language, saying things like, "I am terrible at this," or "I always mess up," you may be conditioning your mind to accept these statements as truths. On the other hand, if you make a conscious effort to use positive and empowering language, you may begin to cultivate a stronger and more resilient mindset. Think about this for a moment. When was the last time you really paid attention to the way you speak? Have you ever noticed certain patterns in your speech that might be revealing more about you than you intended? Take a second to reflect. Do you use words that emphasize confidence or hesitation? Do you speak with clarity, or do your words sometimes get lost in uncertainty? As we continue, we are going to explore even deeper layers of this fascinating topic. There are subtle elements within your speech that go beyond just words and tone, things that hint at your personality, your social standing, and even your level of emotional intelligence. And trust me, the final insight will completely shift the way you think about communication forever. Are you ready to uncover more? Think about the last conversation you had. Were you fully aware of how you were speaking? Most people are not. We tend to focus on what we are saying rather than how we are saying it. But the truth is, the how often carries more weight than the what. Take tone, for example. Studies in communication psychology have repeatedly shown that tone of voice conveys more meaning than words alone. In fact, Albert Mehrabian, a renowned psychologist, proposed that only 7% of meaning is derived from words, while 38% comes from tone of voice, and a staggering 55% comes from body language. This means that even if you choose your words carefully, if your tone does not match your intent, your message may not be received the way you expect. Imagine a person saying, "I am fine." These three words seem simple enough. But now, picture them being said in different tones, one warm and reassuring, another cold and distant, and yet another sarcastic and dismissive. The words remain the same, yet the meaning shifts entirely based on tone. This is why some people can command attention effortlessly, while others struggle to be taken seriously. The power is not just in the message, but in the delivery. Now let us go even deeper. The rhythm and pacing of your speech also play a crucial role in how others perceive you. Have you ever noticed how confident speakers tend to slow down their speech, allowing each word to land with impact? This is no coincidence. When we are nervous, our instinct is often to speed up, as if we are rushing to get the words out before our thoughts slip away. But this can make us sound anxious or uncertain. On the other hand, a controlled, measured pace signals confidence, authority, and self-assurance. There is a reason why some of the most influential leaders in history, think Martin Luther King Jr. or Barack Obama, are known for their deliberate, rhythmic speech patterns. Their words are carefully spaced, their pauses intentional. This technique not only makes their message more powerful, but also allows listeners time to absorb and reflect on what is being said. But what about everyday conversations? How does pacing affect our interactions? Research suggests that mirroring someone's speech pattern, whether in speed, tone, or vocabulary, can actually foster a sense of connection and rapport. This is known as linguistic mirroring, a subconscious phenomenon where people naturally adjust their speech to match those around them. It is a social survival mechanism, a way to create a sense of familiarity and trust. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that when you spend time with someone who has a distinct accent or way of speaking, you start to adopt some of their speech patterns? This is not just coincidence. Our brains are wired for social bonding, and speech is one of the primary tools we use to establish connection. That is why charismatic individuals often have a way of making people feel comfortable. They instinctively adjust their speech to align with their audience, making their words feel more relatable and engaging. Now let us talk about vocabulary. The words you use daily are a direct reflection of your background, education, and even personality. Consider how language varies between different social groups. The words we use at work are often different from those we use with close friends or family. This linguistic flexibility is known as code switching, and it is something we all do, whether consciously or not. For example, an individual might use formal, polished language in a professional setting, but when speaking with childhood friends, they might revert to a more relaxed, slang-filled speech. This ability to shift between linguistic styles is not just about adaptation, it is about identity. Each version of our speech represents a different aspect of who we are. But there is something even more fascinating: the connection between vocabulary and cognitive ability. Research has shown that individuals with a richer vocabulary tend to have more nuanced thinking. The words we use shape how we interpret the world. This idea is rooted in the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, which suggests that language does not just express thought, it influences it. In other words, the more words we have to describe an experience, the more complex our understanding of that experience becomes. Consider emotions. In English, we have a relatively limited set of words to describe feelings: happy, sad, angry, frustrated. But in other languages, there are words that capture emotional states with incredible precision. For example, the Japanese word tsundoku refers to the act of acquiring books but never reading them. The Portuguese word saudade describes a deep, nostalgic longing for something that may never return. When a language has a word for an experience, it allows people to perceive that experience in a more tangible way. This means that expanding your vocabulary is not just about sounding intelligent, it is about expanding the way you think. The words you use regularly shape your perception of reality. If you frequently use limiting language, phrases like "I cannot," "it is impossible," or "I am just not good at this," you may be reinforcing self-imposed limitations without even realizing it. Now, here is something to consider. How often do you truly listen to the way you speak? Have you ever stopped mid-conversation and asked yourself, what does my speech reveal about me? Does it project confidence or insecurity? Does it build connection or create distance? As we move forward, we're going to explore something even more profound: the hidden influence of culture, upbringing, and social conditioning on the way we communicate. And the final insight? It is the most powerful of all. It might just make you rethink everything you thought you knew about communication. Are you ready to uncover the deeper layers of your own voice? Think about this. From the moment you were born, your voice, your way of speaking, has been shaped by invisible forces all around you. Your family, your culture, your social environment, even the media you consume. Each of these elements has played a role in crafting the unique way you communicate. But how much of it is truly you? And how much is simply an echo of everything you have absorbed over the years? Let us start with upbringing. Studies in sociolinguistics have shown that our earliest speech patterns are deeply influenced by the way our caregivers spoke to us as children. If you grew up in an environment where language was rich and expressive, chances are your own vocabulary and ability to articulate thoughts developed at an advanced rate. Conversely, if you were surrounded by more restrictive communication, where direct expression was discouraged, you may have unconsciously adopted speech patterns that reflect hesitation or self-censorship. Think about how children mimic their parents' speech, not just in words but in tone, rhythm, and even the emotional charge behind certain phrases. If a child frequently hears phrases like, "That is impossible," or "You are always messing things up," they might carry those verbal patterns into adulthood, reinforcing limiting beliefs without even realizing it. On the other hand, a child raised in an environment filled with encouragement, "You can figure it out," or "There is always a way," may grow up speaking with more optimism and confidence. But beyond family, there is another powerful force at play: culture. Language is deeply tied to culture, and different cultures have unique ways of structuring communication. For example, in Western societies, speech tends to be more direct and individualistic. People are encouraged to express opinions openly, and assertiveness is often associated with confidence. Meanwhile, in many Eastern cultures, speech is often more indirect, with an emphasis on harmony and social context. Silence can be just as meaningful as words, and what is not said can be just as important as what is said. Consider this. When you speak, do you tend to be straightforward and to the point? Or do you soften your words, navigating conversations carefully to avoid conflict? These tendencies are not just personal choices, they are cultural imprints, deeply ingrained from years of exposure to a particular way of interacting with the world. Even within the same country, speech patterns vary drastically based on region, social class, and community. Someone who grew up in an academic environment, constantly surrounded by intellectual discussions, will likely have a very different way of expressing themselves compared to someone who grew up in a working-class neighborhood, where speech is more direct, fast-paced, and pragmatic. Neither is better, but both reveal something profound about a person's background and experiences. And then there is the influence of social conditioning. Society has subtle yet powerful expectations about how we should speak, based on factors like gender, status, and profession. For example, research has found that, on average, women tend to use more hedging language. Phrases like "I think" or "maybe we should try," while men are more likely to use assertive statements. This is not necessarily a biological difference, but a reflection of cultural norms that have historically rewarded different communication styles in different genders. Similarly, think about how people adjust their speech depending on who they are talking to. A politician speaks differently to the public than they do to their close friends. A doctor uses medical jargon when speaking to colleagues, but simplifies their language when explaining something to a patient. This ability to code switch, to shift between different speech styles, is a sign of social intelligence. But it also raises an important question. In all these shifts and adaptations, is there a true voice underneath it all? Now, let us step into the world of modern technology and its impact on language. In today's digital age, the way we communicate is evolving at an unprecedented rate. Social media, texting, and voice-to-text technology have changed not only what we say, but how we say it. Have you ever noticed how the way you write a text message differs from how you would speak in person? Shorter sentences, emojis replacing tone, abbreviations standing in for entire thoughts. These digital habits are shaping the way we speak offline as well, subtly altering our natural speech rhythms and expectations for communication. Consider this. Young people today are growing up in a world where communication is increasingly asynchronous, meaning conversations happen in delayed, fragmented exchanges rather than real-time dialogue. This shift is influencing attention spans, patience in conversation, and even the way we process spoken language. Have you ever felt that your ability to stay engaged in a long conversation has diminished over the years? That is no accident. It is a byproduct of a world where instant replies and rapid-fire exchanges are the norm. But despite all these external influences, there is one thing that remains constant. Your voice is still yours. Even though it has been shaped by culture, family, society, and technology, there is an underlying authenticity that belongs to you alone. And this brings us to the most powerful revelation of all. The way you choose to use your voice can actively shape your future. Have you ever considered that the way you speak can determine your success in life? That the words you use, the confidence in your tone, and the way you structure your thoughts can open doors or close them? There is a reason why some people can walk into a room and command attention with just a few words, while others struggle to make an impact no matter how much they say. It is not just about vocabulary or intelligence, it is about intention. When you become aware of the way you speak, you gain the power to refine it, to shift from speaking out of habit to speaking with purpose. As we move into the final insight, we are going to uncover something truly life-changing. You will see how small, deliberate changes in the way you speak can reshape not only the way others perceive you, but the way you perceive yourself. Are you ready to discover how to harness the full potential of your own voice? What if I told you that the way you speak does not just reflect who you are, but actually shapes who you become? That your speech is not just a passive habit, but an active force capable of influencing your confidence, your relationships, and even your future success? Here is something most people never consider. Your brain listens to you just as much as others do. The words you choose, the tone you use, and the way you structure your thoughts all feed back into your self-perception. If you constantly speak in a way that downplays your abilities, saying things like, "I am not good at this," or "I do not know if I can handle it," your subconscious mind begins to accept these statements as truth. Over time, these verbal habits shape your self-image, reinforcing a version of yourself that aligns with your words. But the opposite is also true. When you consciously choose language that is empowering, decisive, and confident, you begin to become the version of yourself that those words represent. This is not just self-help rhetoric, it is backed by psychology. The self-perception theory, developed by psychologist Daryl Bem, suggests that people form their own self-identity based on their behaviors. If you speak like a confident person, your brain starts to believe that you are a confident person. Consider how influential figures throughout history have used speech to not only inspire others, but to transform themselves. Leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries all understand that the way they communicate shapes the way they are perceived, and that perception, in turn, shapes their reality. So how can you take control of this powerful tool? One of the most effective techniques is conscious speech adjustment, actively refining your language patterns to align with the mindset you want to cultivate. Here are 3 key shifts that can have a profound impact on the way you speak and, consequently, the way you live. 1. Replace hesitant language with assertive language. Pay attention to how often you use softening phrases like "I think," "maybe," "I'm not sure," but while these expressions can be useful in some situations, overusing them can make you sound uncertain, even when you actually know what you are talking about. Try replacing these with direct statements. Instead of "I think this could work," say "This will work because." The difference in confidence is immediate. 2. Speak with intentional pacing. If you tend to rush your words, practice slowing down. Confident speakers do not hurry. They allow their words to land with impact. When you take your time, people perceive you as more thoughtful, more knowledgeable, and more in control. 3. Eliminate unnecessary self-deprecation. There is a difference between humility and self-sabotage. Many people use humor or casual remarks to downplay their intelligence or abilities, saying things like, "I'm terrible at this," or "I have no idea what I am doing." While these statements may seem harmless, they create an internal narrative that reinforces insecurity. Instead, try reframing your words. Instead of saying, I am bad at this, say, I am learning how to do this. Instead of, I have no idea, say, I am figuring it out. These small shifts rewire your mindset, reinforcing growth rather than limitation. And here is the final, most powerful realization. Your voice is not just about communication, it is about creation. Every time you speak, you are reinforcing a version of yourself. You're either strengthening confidence or weakening it. You are either opening doors or closing them. You are either building connections or creating distance. So ask yourself, what story is my speech telling? Is it a story of strength, clarity, and purpose? Or is it a story of hesitation, uncertainty, and limitation? You have the power to choose. Starting today, begin to listen, truly listen, to the way you speak. Pay attention to the words you use, the tone you adopt, the rhythm of your voice. Because once you become aware of it, you gain the ability to change it. And when you change the way you speak, you change the way you are perceived. You change the way you think. And ultimately, you change the way you live. So now that you know the truth about your speech, the question is, how will you use it? Thanks for looking.